All right, everybody, it looks like we got our first pictures of the compact car, at least mock-ups, from Elon Musk's biography that's written by Walter Isaacson. And as the book is hitting some shelves around the world, we're starting to get little tidbits on what this thing could look like. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so here's a page from that book. This was posted by user Alex on X. Thank you, Alex. And here on the top, you see a picture of multiple Tesla executives. They're listed down here. And then this bottom picture to me looks like a mock-up or some sort of prototype design of Tesla's compact car / Robotaxi. Now, one of the things we learned last week is that Tesla has decided to go with one platform, what's called a Gen 3 platform, to build a $25,000 compact car and a Robotaxi. And this Robotaxi is meant to do self-driving around towns without steering wheel and without pedals. And one of the things that people were really trying to speculate on is what this thing was going to look like. What's the form factor going to be for both of these cars? We have an idea of how Tesla is officially thinking about the design language of the car and how they're thinking about the seats, where the seats are going to go and whatever. So what's clear from this picture, if this were to be true, from my eyes at least, is that it's very much looks like a single row of seats with two seats. It looks like there's a lot of leg space for an individual to be sitting there, especially in the configuration where it doesn't have a steering wheel or pedal. And then some folks are speculating that this is a three-wheel car where there's two in the front and one in the rear, but I don't think it's three. I think it's four, and I'll show you a couple more pictures of some of the images we've seen in the last couple of days that sort of line up with this design language a little bit. Then obviously you see this door that's not opening out, it's opening up, and that's probably built for better egress, ingress, so getting in and out of the car. And theoretically, that's probably automated because, as soon as it arrives, it just wants to sort of lift up so you can get into the car, at least for the Robotaxi version. The compact and Robotaxi versions should be very similar in what they look like. It's just the Robotaxi version will likely have a steering wheel and pedal missing, and perhaps some additional functions around the car where it can, say, punch in numbers in a code at a gate, take a parking ticket, so on and so forth. Very aerodynamic. You have this curved shape on the top, which again we'll look at again once we see some of the other design mock-ups we're seeing. Sort of this very much this Tesla design language up here with the fascia and having that little bit of a indent in the front. And yeah, maybe a wheel cover here to make the car as aerodynamic as possible, which obviously looks like that's the case as well in the front wheels. I want to put this against one of the leaked images not leaked, it was on the CBS Sunday morning show from this past Sunday, which was yesterday. And this is Franz von Holzhausen, who's the design executive, basically the person who's in charge of designing all Tesla cars, overlooking sort of a very early prototype, very early because it's made out of cardboard, of what this compact car Robotaxi could look like. And there are some differences that I'm noticing already. So if we look at this image, you can see that this curve on the top of the car is very similar to sort of the shape that we have here. Unfortunately, we can't see more on the front of the car, but it looks very similar. You can also kind of see how the cabin is set up is very similar to here as far as where the seats are placed in relation to the rest of the cabin. Excuse me, they're a little bit more towards the back here. Then you also have this sort of drop off in the back that you can also see on this design right here as well from this image. So to me, it looks like, and you have some luggage, right? So you have two suitcases there to kind of show how much luggage you can put in there, which to me looks like you can put two full-size pieces of luggage in there, which theoretically would fit back here as well. And so that's very interesting. So to me, this says that this mock-up is probably quite legit. And there are other images as well that Tesla has on this picture that are there for us to look at. So they have these little pictures, these tiny little pictures there that I'll good luck figuring out what this is. But the front side, as I blow up the pictures, this looks like a front side angle to me and a rear side angle. These were probably very early prototypes of what the car could look like. You can kind of see more of a quote-unquote Cybertruck feel that was described on some of the excerpts from the book. You can kind of see a little bit more Cybertruck-looking thing, but from the images we're seeing really from the book, it looks like it's much more curved, doesn't have that angular design so much. And here's the same thing from the rear side. You have this sort of shape that should be back here from this angle. And again, these two pictures blown up for you. So it's a little bit easier to see. Now, if we put this against the image that was shared by Tesla back when they did their shareholder meeting, which was July, I want to say. It was a couple months ago. It wasn't that long ago. But this was a teaser image they shared on that meeting of that compact car Robotaxi. And this one looks a lot more to me like a shrunk down Model 3, Model Y. It's tough to kind of get a gauge of the design language they're going with, but they very much have this sort of tapered off back a little bit more versus the prototype we were seeing. We have a little bit of we don't have that continuous sort of curve through the hood. We have a much more prototypical windshield and hood look. But again, this could be a sort of a picture that's out there for Tesla to say, hey, this is what it may look like. It's sort of this look. But the one thing to keep in mind with Tesla is when they typically show these official like renders for an upcoming product, typically they hold quite true to what they show. So in my opinion, it's probably going to look a lot closer to this than the other one, especially as I thought through it over the weekend and I saw some other images that were coming out for the car, especially that cardboard mock-up, that I'm starting to go away from this being as it was described, a Cybertruck feel car where it has maybe the stainless steel and their angular edges. It's going to be a lot more traditional looking versus the Cybertruck, but it will still have a lot of futuristic elements to it. So if I put all three sort of mock-ups side by side, we can kind of get an idea of what this compact car is starting to look like, this two-seater, most likely this two-seater car that Tesla is working on, which will be a $25,000 compact car around that area and a Robotaxi that's just going to drive itself all over the place. So yeah, you tell me what you see there. I mean, these two look a lot more similar to me. They clearly made some changes here in the back. They made some changes here in the front. And yeah, I'm curious to see how this ends up in a final version. And we're probably going to expect to see a lot more information about this thing, especially as the book starts hitting shelves starting tomorrow, which I have it on order. I'm very much excited to read the book in its entirety. And I'm also very much looking forward to interviewing the author of the book, Walter Isaacson, on Saturday at 2 p.m. Central on Spaces. I'll have a link for that in the comment section below in case you're interested in scheduling that so that you can join us on Saturday so we can talk all about this book. I have 4 days to devour 600 some odd pages, so wish me luck. All right, everybody. I hope this was informative and helpful, and we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.